Welcome to Neighborhood News. I'm John Sylvia here with co-host Carlos Caesar.
Yes, John.
21?
Back again. Yes, 21 shows.
Okay.
And we're back again. It's Tuesday nights, 7 o'clock, channel 95. And I want to welcome the Portuguese community again. Sejam bem-vindos. Este é o seu programa Notícias da Sua Vizinhança, todas as terças-feiras, às 7 da noite, no canal 95. E hoje vamos ter novamente mais um convidado. Espero que fique connosco para os próximos 30 minutos. John, we are back again, and I know that you did some announcements last week.
Yep.
So you still have some.
Yeah, I can. We're going to repeat these again, only because we got these notices well in advance. And on Friday, September 28th at Whites of Westport, the Fall River Fire Museum is having a fundraiser there. They're having 3 comics, Mike Whitman, Stephanie Peters, and Jim Colleton, I guess is the name. It's $20 a ticket. Tickets can be purchased at the New Boston Bakery, 279 New Boston Road, all the Fall River fire stations, or by contacting Kenny Ledger at 508-674-3777. And these folks are trying to get this fire museum off the ground here in Fall River. I think it's a great thing. Another economic engine that we need in this city right now.
That's the one on North Main?
Yeah, I think
that's
North
for
Main,
the building on North
yeah,
Main?
I believe the city may have donated that building.
Yes, I
to
believe
them.
so.
Yeah, so I know they've had a few things there. They had some yard sales, so they're really trying to move forward with this, and I think this is a good thing. And what we also mentioned last week also is the Kennedy Park, St. Anne's Neighborhood Association is having a car show at Kennedy Park, the upper part of Kennedy Park, Sunday, September 30th from 10 to 2. And all the proceeds go toward the new inclusion playground that they're trying to create at South Park, or the lower Kennedy Park portion of that, near the building there in Middle Street. So that's another thing that if you have the opportunity to get out there and try to help them, I know they have been raising a lot of money toward that playground. So hopefully.
And I remember last year was a big success.
Yep.
So let's hope this year
Yep.
the success keep going, and they will have a lot of people there.
Yep, hopefully, yeah. And I know they had their movie night, and they were pretty.
Yes.
You mentioned that last
yes,
week. They were very successful.
I saw pictures of it, and
Yep.
you know, they did a good job,
Yep.
and I want to congratulate
Yep. Great,
them
great.
because they did a good job.
Yep.
And a lot of
Absolutely.
people, and just what happened last week with our movie night is when you approach somebody on a community with a free event, especially
Yeah.
with a free event like this,
Yeah.
where the parents can take the kids for an event, they all they're happy
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
something that, and neighborhoods are
Yeah.
trying to help each other and trying to do something.
Yeah, and
And this it's definitely a good event for the St. Anne's neighborhood.
Yeah, and I think these are great, like you were mentioning, the movie nights, because it brings a sense of community too. So that's another good thing that comes out, and it also is helping people, you know, with this economy for something free. So I mean, all these things connect together, and I think it's good for Fall River. So good job.
Very
Good
good.
job, St. Anne's.
Yep.
We have a guest tonight,
We have a guest.
and I'll let you introduce him. I'll do it. Linton Harrington is here tonight, and he's going to go over some of the programs that he has at the reservation. If you want to just talk about some, I know we were talking off camera as to some of the youth programs you have, if you want to go over those for us and let our viewers know.
Okay, sure. Yeah, so just a little background. I work for the Trustees of Reservations, and we're a statewide conservation organization. We protect properties all over Massachusetts, everything from forests to farms, mountains, beaches. But here in Fall River, we have a 500-acre property called Copacut Woods. And Copacut Woods is part of an even larger protected forest called the Bioreserve, or a lot of people still just know it as the Reservation, but now its official name is the Southeastern Massachusetts Bioreserve, and it's close to 14,000 acres of forest. It literally covers the entire eastern half of the city. And a lot of people don't even realize that all that land over there on the other side of North Watuppa is still part of Fall River, but it is. It's it's a huge area out there. So we offer programs throughout the year to try to get people out there and just enjoying the outdoors and learning about nature. We've been working with some of the neighborhood associations, and Carlos has been great with working with the Flint neighborhood to get more people out there, whether it's kids from the Fonseca School or whether it's just families from the neighborhoods who might not have the opportunity to get out there, even though it's within the city limits. You kind of have the North Watuppa Pond kind of cuts the population off from the land out there, and if you don't have a car, it's not necessarily that easy to get over there. So we've been working with the city to organize some trolley tours out there, and we did a couple of tours in July, and we're doing another one coming up in October, on October 13th. And actually, Carlos, you might know more of the details of it, but we're going to be doing, offering a free trolley ride out to the forest, and then I'm going to be doing a guided walk that's, going to be an easy, fun walk that's good for kids and families who just want to get out and maybe explore a part of the city that they're not usually able to get to. And we actually take them for a walk down to the North Watuppa, which is the drinking water supply for the city. And a lot of people never get, other than maybe seeing it from the highway, never actually get down there to the shore. It's not usually open to the public. But we have permission from the water department to take groups down there and talk a little bit more about the importance of protecting our drinking water, as well as all of that forest out there. So I don't know, do you want to go?
Yes, I have to say this, that it was my first time that I went with the one of the two trips that I put out there for the community to enjoy, and I did learn a lot, and my kids loved it, and we definitely we're gonna be again on the next one, because it's like this: when you deal with nature, you have, every time that you go, you will see something different, and you will talk about something different. It's not always the same thing, and it's a nice walk. But going a little bit back, maybe 3 or 4 months ago, Linton came down to our neighborhood group association and did the presentation of the trustees lands. And as he was doing the presentation, I'm thinking, how can I bring people there? Because by what I'm seeing, it has to be something beautiful. So then came the idea of bringing and booking a couple of trips. And I know that the city has a couple of trolleys, and I said, even better if we could put the trolley ride together with a walk, so kids and families could enjoy that. So that came, and then we booked a couple of trips. One from the Fonseca School, which people from our neighborhood were allowed to leave the cars there and just go for the ride. And then at the same day, I booked another one to leave the Bottle Ship Cove, which gives the opportunity to anybody that wants to go for this trip. And after I booked that trip, we adopted the Fonseca School, and we have almost 700 kids there. And I said, most of these kids, if I don't give them the opportunity to go there, the parents will never take them there. So, but if I take them there, I'm pretty sure I have a good percentage of these kids that now they saw and they want to bring the parents there. No, instead of the parents bring the kids, it's the kids that want to bring the parents there. So, and that's what happened. I got in touch with the school. I spoke to the principal of the school. She loved the idea, and we booked 13 trips. Now, going back to school again, we are going back to the trips again. And I didn't know, I thought that by September the trips were done. And I found out, no, October, it's even the best month to go for a walk there. Yeah. So October 13, we're having another trolley trip there. And we're going to leave at 10 o'clock from the Fonseca parking lot. It's open to everybody that wants to come. The only thing is you have to call me or email me to reserve your seat, because the trolley only takes 30 people. Mm-hmm. And I don't want, just to send people home, because now we don't have enough seats for everybody. Yeah. So because it's only 30 people, I would like if either calling Linton, me, or John, and you could reserve that seat for you, and the first 30 people that call will be the ones that, if I see that I have a lot of people to go, I have to book another one. But for now, it's only another 30 people that we're going to be bringing there. But from those trips, it's something that you learn on the process of bringing people into this walks.
Sure, yeah. I mean, it's always amazing to introduce people to these places that are right in their own communities, and people are always just amazed that they're actually still in Fall River when we're out in the middle of the forest. And I think, like you were saying, it's always something new. As the seasons change, the forest changes along with them. You never know what type of wildlife you're going to see. I take groups of kids out all the time and just catching frogs and butterflies and dragonflies. That's probably the best fun that they can have. And a lot of kids these days, they don't have those opportunities to just go out and catch bugs and catch frogs and just explore. But I think, for me growing up, just playing outside and exploring nature was a really important part of my childhood, and I didn't sit around playing video games and watching TV all day, which seems like that's what kids do for entertainment now, either because their parents are scared to let them play outside, or their parents don't know places to take them, to let them explore. And so just, trying to teach people that it's a safe, it's a fun thing to do. It doesn't cost anything to go out there. The trails are open every day for free. The bioreserve, all told, is almost 14,000 acres of forest. There's about 50 miles of trails for everything from walking, mountain biking. There's fishing on the shoreline of the Copacut Reservoir now, which is something that just opened up in the past few years, is shoreline fishing. At Copacut Woods, people come and they walk their dogs, they go jogging, just bring the kids out for a walk, and it's close and it's free and it's a lot of fun. But I think for people who haven't spent a lot of time outside or going for walks in the woods, they need that introduction before they can really feel comfortable with it. And so the trips like that we're organizing with you and with other groups, we've done programs with group after-school programs from the Y or Boys and Girls Club, Family Services Association, trying to introduce more people to that land out there. So.
It is a lot. You teach a lot during those trips. You talk about the trees, you talk about the insects, you talk about the rocks.
Yeah.
So I did learn a lot. We walked for like 45 minutes, maybe.
Yeah.
But it's a 45 minutes full of,
it's like being in a classroom. The kids don't know this, right?
And the most important thing is, you ask the questions to the kids, they know the answers.
Yeah.
At least they try to answer the questions, which makes us, the trip more interesting, because we can see the kids enjoying, the trip. Maybe the Niagara neighborhood needs to
do that, right?
To do that.
Well, maybe we'll have to think about it.
And I know that the Niagara adopted the school to
Green school, yeah.
the green school, and this really it's a great project to bring the kids. And I know the city it's with the trolley, as long as the trolley is not booked, and that's why we booked for the 13th, because for this month of September the trolley it's booked for weddings and stuff. So we had to look for a date to do it. But I bet if the Niagara shows any interest in doing a trolley trip, I believe that the city will be more happy to provide you the
to get
the
all the
trip.
information from you.
Yes,
See if we can
Yeah,
get
you
a
know all the
hotel room.
contact people.
So that's great.
And then and it will be nice for the kids on the green school to enjoy something like this.
Great. Yeah, we'll have to look at it. I'll get some information from you. But you know, you were talking about the October, and I think that's probably a great time because the weather is nice and cool, and on top of it, we probably have a change in foliage. And if you live in the south end of Fall River, I don't even know when the trees change half the time because we don't really have that many trees. The only time I know when things are changing is when I'm driving up Route 24 to go to work. I'm like, wow, foliage here, but we don't see that.
The
And I think a
highways.
lot of the kids that live in the south end don't really see that and probably don't know, you know, about the foliage change.
No, it was one of the things that Linton told me about the trip in October. No, Carlos, that's the best.
It's nice, yeah, the leaves are changing, it's a little cooler, you don't have as many mosquitoes and things like that as it gets further into the fall. So a lot of people like to come out and visit the property in the fall. And then I'll also mention we also have some public programs offered on the weekends. On September 15th, we're doing a walk at Copacut Woods on wild edible plants. So the fall is a great time to go out and pick blueberries, raspberries. We have trees that have edible nuts like hickory nuts and chestnuts out there. So we do a walk every fall to teach people about all the wild edible plants that they can find on the property as well. So that's another thing we can look at is edible fruits and nuts that are ready to eat in the fall.
Cool.
And people can go there and pick.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, obviously, you want to know what you're eating because there are things that you don't want to eat. But things like blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, they're pretty easy to pick out. And this is a great time to do it.
Let me ask you this. And one thing that I loved on the trip was the smells of some plants that you show us.
Right.
And John, you have really to smell this. You show us one plant that it was a smell of root beer. Man,
Yeah.
it was a root beer. I'm telling you. You smell that plant, it's like smelling root beer.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, the black birch
That's what
is
it's called?
the tree. Yeah, that has if you scratch the bark, it smells like root beer. And this sassafras was another plant that I think we smelled
Yes.
that has like a lemon sort of citrus flavor. And so those types of trees, you can take those roots and you can make a tea, you can make soda, you can make syrup, like a maple syrup, but with birch sap. So there's a lot, and a lot of people are interested in that stuff. That if you had to survive in the wilderness,
Yes.
if there's plenty to eat. You just have to know what it is and how to get it and how to prepare it. And a lot of people don't have that knowledge anymore. But the edible plant walk is always interesting.
Another interesting thing that I saw there was, and you probably could talk a little bit about this too, is when a tree dies, and from the root of the tree comes another tree.
Yeah.
Can you?
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of trees that can do what's called stump sprouting. So, and maple is a good example of that, and birch and beech is another. If you just basically cut the tree down, the roots can still survive. So instead of dying, the roots will actually send up shoots to try to grow into a new tree. So you'll end up with a tree that might have 8 or more different trunks growing up from that root system. So shows you how sort of resilient a tree is, that even chopping it down at the ground, that doesn't necessarily mean the tree is going to die. If the roots can survive, they'll sprout and grow another tree from the same roots.
Very interesting.
Oh, that is
very
interesting. So are you an arborist by trade? Is that?
Not exactly. I would call myself a naturalist, which basically means you know a little bit about everything. Arborists focus specifically on trees, but sort of like Carlos was saying, in the work that I do, you need to know not only about trees, but also about animals, about mushrooms, about a little bit about geology, a little bit about history. We talk a lot about the history of the land, the old farmsteads that used to be out there. There were ice houses, there were mills. So you sort of, as a naturalist, you know a little bit about all of those different things, but you can't get too specialized and too focused. So my background is in sort of environmental education, natural history.
Okay, cool. So what do you have any winter programs that go on out there also?
Yes, yep. Okay. We do. The winter's a great time to do animal tracking. If you get a nice coating of snow, you can go out, and we do a program with the Buttonwood Park Zoo over in New Bedford, and one of their keepers comes over and does an animal tracking walk for us every winter. And so again, you hope for snow. We don't always get the snow, but this winter's the best time to do it. We do cross-country ski trips, again, weather dependent. Some years we get good snowy weekends, other years we haven't had any, but we have people, for the ski trips, we have people call and register. We don't pick a date ahead of time. We have them, if they're interested, they call and tell us that they want to go, and then when we see that we're going to have a Saturday with a good snow base, then we'll call everybody and tell them what weekend to go.
How much snow are we talking about?
For skiing, you don't need, even just 3 inches, 3-4 inches is plenty for cross-country skiing. To go snowshoeing, you want more. You want 10, 12 inches. But we've had some good ski trips, and Copacut Woods is a beautiful place for skiing. So again, those are programs that people can register for ahead of time, and then we let them know when it's going to happen. Our website is a great place to always get information about programs. It's thetrustees.org is the website, and you click on things to do, and you can get an events calendar for the whole state. You can find out about the programs that we're offering all over Massachusetts.
Okay, so you said it was the trustees.org. We'll try to get that before the end of the show to play that on there, but it's the trustees.org, and all their programs are listed there. One other quick thing, are you guys involved in the kayak? Do you do anything with like kayak tours in the summertime?
Yes, we do. We do kayak tours. Unfortunately, they don't let us take kayaks out on the North Watuppa or Copacut. But we do trips on the Westport River. September 8th, we're doing a trip on the Westport River. We do trips on Slocum's River over in Dartmouth. So we offer kayak programs in the area. Usually we do about one a month from May until October.
So you have to bring your own kayak, or is that something that's...
No, we provide kayaks, paddles, life jackets. Most of our programs are free, but we do charge for the kayak trips because we provide all of the equipment. Okay. But most of the other walks that we do are free and open to the public.
Okay, great. How much would that be for the kayak trip then?
If you're a Trustees member, it's $30. If you're not a member, it's $40 for the kayak trips.
That's really good because you're getting the equipment. You're renting the equipment, so
yep.
That's great.
We provide all the kayaks, life jackets, paddles. Then we also have a van, so you can do a one-way trip, and then we'll pick people up and drive them back to their cars at the end. So.
Excellent, excellent.
And the website again?
Yeah, it was trustees.org.
Thetrustees.org.
And like I said, we're going to try to get that on the website, on the screen before the end of the show, thetrustees.org.
And the other thing you can do on the website is you can get trail maps and directions to our property. So you can go out to the bioreserve anytime. It's from sunrise to sunset, the property is open for people to come and visit. So if you wanted to figure out, where to park and get a trail map when you got there, you can download that information from our website as well. So you go find the Copacut Woods page, and then you can get directions and you can get trail maps.
And you guys have a newsletter too, don't you? I think I've seen a newsletter that comes out. I don't know.
We do. We have an event flyer that we mail out on a quarterly basis. So and anyone who wants to receive that can, they can email bioreserve@ttor.org. And just give us your address or your email, and we'll either email it to you or we can actually mail it out to you.
Okay, great. Yeah, because I think I had that. It might have been one of the neighborhood meetings you went to, and I got my name on that list. So I've seen some of the things that you guys have.
Yeah, our fall event flyer should be going out in the next couple of weeks, so you can get the listing that way.
Yeah, and on the future shows, I will be providing more information and a phone number that people can reserve the seats for the October 13th trip at 10 o'clock in the morning from the Fonseca School, leaving in Fonseca School. But the future show, I will prepare something to announce that. Any presentations around the neighborhood groups in the future? Do you have anything planned?
I don't have anything scheduled right now. The summers I tend to spend most of my time out in the field. We actually have a youth corps program that I'll mention too, where we hire high school students to work for us for the summers. This summer we hired 36 high school students, and it's a paid summer job. They worked for 7 weeks doing trail work, doing walks for kids, clearing stone walls, doing environmental research projects. So my summers tend to really be focused working with the youth corps group and doing programs in the field, but the winter time is when I tend to do more of the presentation. So I think probably in like the end of October and early November I'll be going back to do more of those presentations.
I would like to leave out there for our colleagues that are in charge of neighborhood groups that he does a really nice presentation of the trustees, and people will enjoy the presentation. So
and we're gonna try to schedule something with you in October and November, because I know that's something folks in our group have been asking about for the last 2 or 3 months. So
great.
So
yeah, I'd be happy to do it. I mean, I've probably done maybe 7 or 8 of the neighborhood associations, but I think there's 15 or 16 altogether. So I've probably only gotten to half of them.
Yes.
And I know the summer with anything, a lot of groups don't have meetings in the summertime. So, but,
very good. And I think we are getting into the end of one more show.
Yep. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
It's very informative to know. I mean, we know some of the things, but it's great for other people to know what's going on in Fall River. And most of this stuff is free, with the exception of that kayak thing. But for the $40, you're actually getting a kayak. If you go out to the Cape and you rent one for the day, it's going to cost you a lot more than $40. That's for sure. So that's great.
Definitely,
that's great.
So thank you, Linton, for coming down again, and we will be in touch. And I will bring there as many people I can. Believe me, I will drag them down there.
We'd love to have them out there.
Well, before we go, Carlos, before we sign out, I just wanted to say this is this time of year now. We're getting to election time, so it's very important to vote and think about voting. And we know in Fall River we have a very low voter turnout, and sometimes that contributes to a lot of the problems that we have. You know, people can be very apathetic, I understand that, but you know, voting is very important. We have a lot of things that are coming up on the ballot. We had last week we had Al Leamy here talking about the Community Preservation Act, which is, you know, whether you're for it or against it, it's out there. I think it's an important thing, so we want to look at that. So I spoke too long. We're going to end this. And have a good night. See you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Yes.
Have a good night.
Thank you. Have a good night.